To the Western Cape High Court now, where the murder trial of Mortimer Saunders continues. He's admitted to killing 3-year-old Courtney Pieters and is also accused of rape. The state's second witness, a relative of the 3-year-old, took the stand this morning. eNCA's Leigh-Anne Jansen joins us now from Cape Town. Leigh-Anne, so the relative of the family of Courtney Pieters took the stand. What details came out, including the details about the role that was played by her killer on the day that she went missing?
Yes, Marshall Wen told the court that she was at home on the day of the incident, on the 4th of May 2017, and she was in and out of the main house. Marcia lives in a Wendy house in the backyard, and she had gone into the house to clean her mother's room and tidy the house. At that time, she saw Mortimer Saunders in and out of his room during various intervals that day. At one occasion, he'd gone to the kitchen. Now, it seems that the state is trying to get at that was the time Saunders had actually gone to the kitchen to fetch a glass of water in which to put the ant poison he says he fed Courtney Pieters on the morning of the 4th of May. Wen also told the court that it was commonplace for Courtney's mother, Juanita Pieters, to leave the child home alone, unattended, when she'd gone to work. Now, I remember yesterday Juanita Pieters had told the court that she always assumed that because Marshall Wen was home, she'd keep an eye out over Courtney when she'd leave her home, to which Wen replied that she cannot just assume that when she didn't even know that the child was home. She'd only know that Courtney was home alone when Courtney would wake up and cry. So there was no way she could have known that Courtney was home alone during various times over about 4 weeks before Courtney actually disappeared and was killed.
And shockingly, Leigh-Anne, we're hearing details of even the picture that was used in the missing persons poster that was issued out for little Courtney Pieters actually had a link to her killer.
Wen identified the pictures used on the missing persons flyer as photographs that Mortimer Saunders had given her sister, or he'd sent the photos from his phone to Wen's sister's phone to actually draw up these missing persons flyers. His lawyer, though, says that the kids would often play in his room and would use his phone to take photographs of each other. One of the photographs used, and it's also in some of our stories and will be used in my package later, is a picture of Courtney Pieters lying on his bed with her hands on her chin, and he says his daughter had actually taken that photograph of Courtney.
And we also had another witness, Leigh-Anne, didn't we? The member of the Community Policing Forum. What came out of that testimony?
Yes, another witness took the stand today, Pamela Scholz. She's a neighborhood watch member from the Delft area. You'd remember that neighborhood watchers from various parts of Cape Town had come together in the 9-day search for Courtney Pieters. So Pamela Scholz told the court how, by chance, because they needed to refuel a police vehicle, they ended up in Epping, and that she had then told the other neighborhood watch members and a police brigadier who was with them that maybe we should search this field because people often walk through this patch of field to get to work in Epping Industria. They then branched off, and she had gone to search along a fence next to one of the factories. And she says that is when she came across Courtney Pieters' body. She then sobbed on the witness stand, saying that she had seen the bottom half of Courtney's body from her navel to her feet, that Courtney Pieters' pants, jeans were untied and unzipped as well. It's at that point that you could hear her crying. Journalists in the media benches were sobbing as well. There were 10 journalists in court today, 9 of whom were women, and one of them is pregnant. So this case is touching a nerve, not only for the public and the family, but also those who are having to cover the trial.
Yeah, absolutely. The details are quite horrendous, Leigh-Anne. Just a final one. I was a bit confused earlier on, and you clarified me a bit earlier and I imagine a lot of other people probably are, if we had a situation where this man, Mortimer Saunders, admitted to killing Courtney Pieters on Monday, why do we still have a trial? Clarify that for us.
So Mortimer Saunders handed in a plea explanation when his trial started on Monday. His lawyer read this to the court. In it, he says he pleads guilty to murder. He says he poisoned Courtney because he was irritated that she had woken him for a second time to watch TV, and he was angry at her mother for some reason. He says he fed her and poisoned. So he's pleaded guilty to murder. However, he says it wasn't premeditated murder. He also faces a charge of rape. He has pleaded not guilty to rape, but he has pleaded guilty to having sexual acts with a corpse. He says once he came back to his room and Courtney Pieters was dead after consuming the ant poison. He then unzipped her pants and performed sexual acts on her. The state has said that it doesn't accept his pleas. The state has set out to prove beyond reasonable doubt that he did premeditate Courtney Pieters' murder and that he did rape her. We're still waiting for the forensic pathologist to take the stand to detail exactly what came out of her post-mortem, and that will then lead us to this rape charge that the state is trying to prove.